Hello, in this video we're going to talk about ChatGPT's new voice feature and how you can use it for a very unique thing in the real world. On September 25th of 2023, OpenAI mentioned that ChatGPT can now see, hear, and speak, which sounds great, and we will focus on the other features in another video, but today we're going to be talking about the voice feature. I found a great way to use it in the real world, which I find fascinating, but will you? Let's say you are at a museum, like the National Gallery in London or anywhere in the world, and you find a painting, in this case Claude Monet's Water Lilies, and you don't know much about the painter or the artist, and you want to learn more. Typically, you have to read the little side card that they have next to it, or read the brochure, or ask someone that knows about it, but it's gonna be tedious to find someone to actually guide you through the whole museum. Even if you get a guide or an audio guide, it just is limited to the text that they wrote and put in the recording for that audio guide, or the person that is following you with the group. Now, imagine that you have a guide that is with you at all times, and you can ask it anything you want about the painting and the medium and anything related to it, and it's not limited to what the curators thought that might be interesting to you. So let's grab this example. We're looking at the water lilies, and it's a very beautiful painting, but again, maybe you want to learn more. So you open up your ChatGPT app, and I don't know if this is available for everyone yet. They said they were rolling it out for premium and enterprise users and eventually to the rest of the users. So I have no idea at this point where it is. I just know that recently I have it on my phone. So I just open it up, and there's this little headphones icon at the top right. And if I click it, it will give me the option to start speaking, and you can choose from a few different voices, and we can go through this in another video, but today I just left the voice that is called Sky, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm just gonna ask it something about this painting. So here we go. Hello, I'm looking at Claude Monet's painting of the water lilies. Why is it so special?
Claude Monet's Water Lilies series is indeed a masterpiece. The paintings are special for several reasons. First, they were groundbreaking for their time, playing a significant role in the Impressionist movement. Monet captured the fleeting effects of light and color on water, something that was innovative back then. Second, the sheer scale of some of these works is astonishing. Monet worked on large canvases, immersing the viewer in the natural scene. He painted these later in life, and they're often interpreted as a deeply personal reflection on nature and life itself. Would you like to dive deeper into any particular aspect of these paintings?
Yes, what sort of paint did he use?
Claude Monet primarily used oil paints for his Water Lilies series. Oil paint allowed him the flexibility to layer and blend colors in a way that captured the subtle shifts in light and reflection on the water's surface. The slow-drying nature of oil also gave him more time to work on details, making it the ideal medium for his artistic goals. Is there anything else you'd like to know about Monet or his work?
Was he influenced by other painters in the time, or was he more of an influence to others?
Claude Monet was both influenced by others and a major influence himself. Early in his career, he was inspired by painters like Eugène Boudin, who introduced him to outdoor painting, and Camille Pissarro, another key figure in the Impressionist movement. Both artists had a lasting impact on Monet's approach to capturing natural light and landscapes. However, Monet went on to become a cornerstone of the Impressionist movement himself, influencing a whole generation of artists. His techniques, especially his unique approach to light and color, inspired many painters to break away from traditional methods and explore new ways of capturing the world around them. Would you like to learn more about the Impressionist movement, or perhaps Monet's contemporaries?
Yes, what is the Impressionist movement? What was it about?
The Impressionist movement was an art movement that emerged in France in the late 19th century. It was a radical departure from the formal academic art that had been dominant at the time. Impressionism was all about capturing the immediate visual sensation or the impression a scene gave the artist, rather than creating a detailed, realistic depiction. Artists like Monet, Pissarro, and Renoir focused on the effects of light and color, often painting en plein air or outdoors to catch the nuances of natural light. They used short, brushy strokes and a vibrant color palette to convey the atmosphere and mood of a scene. The movement was initially met with resistance from traditional art institutions, but it eventually gained acceptance and profoundly influenced the development of modern art. Would you like to explore more about specific artists within the movement, or perhaps its impact on later art styles?
No, no, that's okay. I'm looking at the windmills near Zaandam painting. What is that painting about?
I think you might be referring to Windmills near Zaandam, a painting by Claude Monet. This artwork is part of Monet's series created during his stay in the Netherlands. It features windmills, a common sight in the Dutch landscape, set against the sky and water. Monet was fascinated by the play of light on different surfaces, and this painting is another example of that. He captures the unique atmospheric conditions of the scene, making the windmills appear almost ethereal. The painting is a beautiful example of how Monet could turn an everyday scene into something magical through his mastery of light and color. Would you like to know more about Monet's time in the Netherlands, about this painting in particular?
So as you can see, it's pretty neat. The voice articulations, in my opinion, are very different from what we typically expect from Siri or Alexa or Google Home, and it feels more like a conversation with someone. So now having it on your phone, and even if you have it in an earpiece, I can really see the use for it in things like these. If you're on a tour, if you're walking around the city, maybe you're taking in the sights, but now you can just ask it questions about what's in front of you if you want to know something about a specific place. For example, if you want to know something like, when was the Notre Dame Cathedral built?
The Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris was built over a long period of time, with construction starting in 1163 and largely completed by the 13th century. It's a prime example of Gothic architecture and has been a significant religious, historical, and cultural landmark for centuries. Is there a particular reason you're curious about Notre Dame, or would you like to know more about its history or architecture?
So all those little inflections that it's doing help not only give you the answer for what you're looking for, but also makes it more human. And we know it's a computer and we know it's just giving you information, but I feel that you'll have a much greater time with something like this than just looking at a guidebook or listening to an audio guide. That's my opinion. So I think that's going to be a great use for it. What do you think? Oh, and by the way, here I'm using Google Arts and Culture. If you're curious, it's a great website because it has a ton of museums from around the world, and you can go and look at the paintings in very high detail. These are sessions that they took with very high resolution cameras, and you can go into the pigment of the paint and really see what is going on. And then you can also go through some of these in sort of like a Google Earth fashion. So if you haven't done this before, just head on to Google Arts and Culture. It's a great website. It's free, and you can learn about art while you play around with this sort of stuff. See you in the next video.